They're working now? It says watch live now. Just popped up on my screen.
Hey, I just sent you the YouTube link. You should be getting a live connection there.
Yeah, totally live connection.
How's the quality? Shaky, as in like the camera shaky, or it's pixelated?
The camera's shaky really bad.
The camera still?
Yeah.
Oh, we have to watch it. Okay, so I'm gonna just leave that live, Eric, and then now I'm gonna add in the. Yeah. Okay, give me 2 seconds here. How's that camera? Is it still shaky? Ethan, you don't need to jump around, walk around, get a tip to run. Do you think I should just go live on the CTK Ferndale page? Eric?
I don't know at this point how you would be able to stream live from each of them from one camera.
I got it figured out.
Is that what you figured out?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, then go live on Facebook and send the YouTube live link to me, and I will get that sent out in a raw email, and I'll get on the
Okay. Okay, you have the link. I just emailed or texted that to you.
Yeah. What I'm waiting for is for you to go live on Facebook.
I wish there was a way to mute the camera so they're not going to be hearing background noise, but I'll just leave it sitting here.
That's a really nice background.
So Beck, I'm gonna hit it live here. So you'll need to tell the kids that they have to stay upstairs and be quiet because any noise they're gonna make is gonna come down here. What's that? Oh no, he's gonna need him for a second. I'm actually not using my Wi-Fi, I'm using my mobile streaming because I'm getting way faster times on SpeedNet. So maybe that'll work in our favor. If everybody's having problems with Wi-Fi. Okay, Eric, I'm going to go live here on the CTK Ferndale Facebook page, okay? You there? Eric? I'm going to go live at 10:25 and just tell them, hey, we'll be check back in 5 minutes. We're going live, okay?
Okay.
And what else do you need from me?
Nothing.
Okay, so 10:25, we'll go live.
Okay.
All right. How's it upstairs? Do they have are they watching it?
Yeah, bad idea. I have it here. So I've done
Are they watching it?
Not yet. Is it live right now?
It will be live on Facebook. You know what? I think I'll just go live and leave the backdrop there. And then I'll write on a piece of paper going live in 5 minutes. It's kind of rinky-dink, but I'll just leave it on. Okay, here we go. So when I go live, I'm gonna hang you up, okay?
Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna take you off speaker and you tell me if there's any issues. You ready? Hey everybody, good morning. Welcome to the Warner household. My name is Rich. I'm the campus pastor at CTK Ferndale, and thank you so much for joining us online. Whether you are part of our church or whether you are just scrolling through your Facebook feed right now and you happen to check on or you see this live video playing, I want you to know that we are really glad that you're joining us this morning for our church service, which is obviously we're doing things a little bit different than usual. We're living in a day like we've never lived in before. Nobody's ever experienced this in our lifetime. Unless you've had your head in the sand, you know that things are just all around us right now are going crazy. Stock market has gone down 10,000 points in the last month. Grocery stores are empty. This last week, I actually personally spent 45 minutes in line at Costco just so I could get a package of toilet paper for my family. There's this virus that's spreading, and just everything is increasing, and panic is setting in. It's unprecedented times. School shut down. I saw a picture this last week, and I'm sure a lot of you saw it too, of Los Angeles, and the picture was of the freeway. If you've ever been in LA, you know it's just crazy down there on the freeways all the time. Well, in this picture, the freeway was empty. So unusual the day and age that we're living in. It's all very unsettling, and we're all looking for some solid ground. We're all looking for something that's firm to stand on. And in about 7 or 8 minutes or so, I'm going to directly address the uncertainty, the fear, and even some of the apathy that I think a lot of people are feeling right now when it comes to the times that we're living in. And God's Word has a lot to say about solid ground and finding a place that's steady and in the middle of crisis and everything around us just shaking and moving in ways that we've never experienced before in our lifetime. But before we dive into the sermon this morning, I want to talk a bit about this new way that we're doing church online and in homes. And I want to take probably about 7 or 8 minutes just to talk you through how we're going to be doing things a little bit different. And as we adapt to church in the age of the coronavirus, I'm thankful that we have technology like the internet to keep us connected. However, I just personally want to tell all of you, I miss being with you on Sundays. There's just a lot about weekend services that I think we take for granted. But when it's taken away from us, all of a sudden we realize, oh man, I really miss that. I miss the handshakes. I miss the hugs. I miss hearing all of you singing your heart out. And so I cannot wait to get back into the regular rhythm of meeting together with you on Sundays. And I really do believe when we get back together, it's going to seem that much more of a special thing now that we've had it taken away from us. But all of us pastors right now, I've had a lot of conversations with different pastors this past week. We're all trying to figure out how to do church in the age of the coronavirus. How do we do church under quarantine? Do we go live from our church building? Do we broadcast in homes? Should we be outside in the park where it's bright and sunny? What's the best place? Well, although there's no right or wrong place to broadcast and do what we're doing right now, today I want to try doing it from my house. And there's really 2 reasons for this. One, I was talking with several of you this week, just kind of debriefing last Sunday and how it was going for you. And one of the things that I heard from several of you was this: Rich, it doesn't really feel like you're with us when you're in a church building and we're stuck at home. Rich, it would actually feel a lot more like you're with us as we're going through this uncertainty if you were in your house broadcasting like we're doing right now. And so that's one reason. Second reason that we're going to try this from my house is that I love the message that it sends when you see me sitting here on a Sunday morning in my home. And for too long, people have thought of the church as being a meeting that happens at a particular address. Or church is a building. And if you've been around CTK Ferndale, you've heard me say this over and over again, but church is not a building. Church is not a meeting. It's not an event. Church is people. Church is a people who have put their faith and trust in Jesus and are following Him together and are on mission together. So I hope today, as we shift from large church gatherings to house church, that you will be encouraged that you'll be built up, and that regardless of where you're at right now, if you're sitting with your family, if you're laying in bed, if you're walking in the park, wherever you are right now, I pray that you will encounter Jesus today, because wherever you're at, Jesus is right there with you. And He wants to speak to you. He wants to encourage you. He wants to draw you to Himself. He wants to give you hope and confidence and faith that can only be found in Him. Now, to all of you with kids, or to any kids that are watching this online right now, our kids team leader, Kim Howland, has just been doing a fantastic job putting together resources for kids and families, so that you have something so kids have something to help them grow in their faith, and so parents have something to walk their kids through as we're kind of disconnected right now. And so the best way to find all these resources is to go on Facebook, and there's a Facebook page called CTK Ferndale Kids. And under Kim's most recent video, you're going to find a comment section. In that comment section, there's all kinds of links. There's some videos that you can pull up and either have the kids watching those now, or later on, you can go through some of those with your kids. And I promise you, they're going to be fun, engaging, and they're going to help your kids get closer to Jesus as you do that. Now, let me speak to you about just how you can get the most out of our time together. As I'm sharing this morning, I would love you to not just be passive as you watch, but to engage. One way for you to do that while you're watching, if you're on a mobile device, is by scrolling to the top of your Facebook page, and there's a little thing on a little box where you can check in to CTK Ferndale. That's one way to do it. And the other way for those of you watching via Facebook to engage is by using the comment section. So depending on how you're watching this, there's going to be a comment section either on I believe it's the right or left of the video, or it's going to be underneath the video. If you don't see that comment section, the way to get it to pull up is to grab your mouse or your finger and click right here in the middle of my nose on the screen, and that should cause the comment section to pop up. And once you see it, a great way to start engaging this morning with others is by, you start off by letting us know where you're watching from. Where are you at this morning? You in bed, you in the park, are you with your fam? Let us know where you're watching from. Another way to engage is you can ask questions, you can make snide remarks, you can do whatever you want, but the point is engage. Make this less passive and more of an interactive experience for yourself and anybody that you might be watching with. So on our end, on CTK Ferndale's end, at least for those of you watching via Facebook, we're eventually going to get this figured out with YouTube as well. But we have a team of ministry leaders who are watching this as service hosts. And some of them have already been commenting. Melissa Alexander, Eric Young, and Kim Howland are all service hosts this morning. And so what that means for you is that if you post a question, maybe you're wondering about a ministry or a church program and what's happening with that, or maybe you got a question, some deep theological question for them, a challenge for them to answer. Maybe you have a prayer request, or maybe you even have a need. Maybe you're going, okay, I'm Rich, I'm a senior in our church, and I'm really nervous about going out and getting groceries. I would love to have somebody help me out. Whatever that is, post that in our comment section, and we will do everything that we can to help you out. And so, but we have that team, our ministry team, available to interact with you and to answer questions. You might even have a prayer request, and depending on the prayer request, they might just send you a private message and pray with you right now, here this morning, during this time together, pray with you and believe God for a miracle in your life. So engage. Something else that you need to know about online house church, that's what I'm going to call this, is that this is an incredible opportunity for you to invite someone to church who would never step foot inside of an actual church building. And here's how you can do that. There's a few ways. First, it's as simple as sharing this live video on your timeline. There's ways to do that. We'll give you some written stuff this week on how you can do that. But for those of you who know how to share, you can share this on your timeline. You can like this post. And the more that you like it and the more that you engage with it, share it, what happens is Facebook's algorithms, they see that and they go, oh, this is a video, a post that a lot of people are engaging with, and it must be important. And so then Facebook goes and they actually start popping this on more people's feeds. And so it's a great way to get this out there. get other people involved who would normally never step foot in the church. Another way that you can invite somebody is by going into the comments section and typing a specific person's name in the comments section. And so if I had a phone right now, and I was watching this video live, what I could do is I could go into the comment section and type, let's go Clark Fraser, type Clark Fraser, hit comment or send, and what would happen is Clark's laying in bed, and voila, he gets a ding on his phone, he picks it up, and just like that, he's doing what you're doing. He's at a church service, and he doesn't have to shower, he doesn't have to shave, he doesn't have to brush his teeth. In fact, he can just stay there in bed in his PJs and be a part of all that's going on. So you can do that. You can invite specific people by putting their name in the comment section if they're a Facebook user, and then send them an invite, and then they'll get this and be able to be a part of what we're doing this morning. So invite people. Now let me just talk for a second about worship. One of the most difficult aspects of our weekend service to replicate online is the worship experience, and we're still talking through how we're going to do this with Ferndale. And the reason it's difficult to replicate is not because we don't have great musicians. It's not because we don't have lots of HD cameras getting all different kinds of angles. It's difficult because the corporate worship experience is meant to be just that. It's meant to be a corporate experience. It's one of the main reasons actually why we gather together on Sunday mornings. And I can't wait to get back to doing that again with you, where we're all singing together. I can't wait to hear your voices. But in the meantime, we want to help. We want you to have as close as possible to an experience, a corporate worship experience. And so here's how we're going to do that. We're going to try something a little different, but here's what we're going to do. At the end of our time together, one of our service hosts is going to post a link in the comments section. And when you click on that link, what it's going to do is it's going to take you to a worship set that we've already prepared on YouTube. And on there, you have the opportunity to worship along with thousands of other people in pre-recorded worship services. And the words will be on screen. You can either sing along, or if singing along is just too weird for you, you can just soak it all in. But the cool thing is, we're all going to be watching it at least in a roughly the same time, hopefully. And so you'll get a bit of a worship experience through that. And then two last things before we jump into God's Word this morning. As far as our regular church programs go, all are either changed or postponed. Some of our ministries are still connecting online. Best way to find out what's happening though is to get on our online newsletter list. It gets blasted up every week. If you're not a part of that, you can go to the comment section or send our CTK Ferndale Facebook page a private message and say, hey, I'd love to get the newsletter, and we'll make sure that gets to you. We'll just need an email address, but we'll figure out how to get that to you if you just let us know that you'd like to get a newsletter. And then the last thing, the Ferndale Food Bank needs our help. A lot of their volunteer team is made up of retirees who are all in the high risk zone for catching this virus. And on top of that, so they're losing most of their volunteer team. But on top of that, as this crisis continues and as people start losing paychecks, the need for the food bank is just going to become greater and greater. And so they need a lot of help. And our church is right now putting teams together to help them out. The food bank is looking for younger, healthy, low-risk people. And although there's not a very specific number, the most specific age that the CDC has is 49 and under. Is in a pretty well in a safe zone, at least at this point, for the virus risk. So if you can help us out, if you're interested in helping us out, again, here's how you can engage. You got that comment section, put in there, hey, I would love to find out more about helping you out at the food bank. And we will be in touch with you later on today, giving you schedules and some different possibilities about how you can help volunteer at the food bank and help families as they are in difficult times right now. All right, well, in light of all that's happening in the world today, we are going to take a break from our Meant to Be series that we were going through as a church. And we're going to start a new series today called Solid Ground. And I love what Psalm 18 says. It says this, it says, I love you, Lord, you are my strength. The Lord is my rock. my fortress in my Savior. My God is my rock, in whom I find protection. He is my shield, the power that saves me, in my place of safety. I call on the Lord, who is worthy of praise, and he saved me from my enemies. Now, no matter what kind of crisis you're in, whether it's everything that's happening on a global scale right now, or maybe it's some kind of challenge that you're facing in life, the God we serve, here's the good news: he doesn't change. He's steady, he's unmovable, and he's faithful. He is solid ground. 9 years ago, I found myself in a place where I desperately wanted some solid ground. I was on a cruise ship at the time, and like thousands of people today, who I just read about yesterday, it's actually not funny, but there's thousands of people today that are stranded on cruise ships out there in the ocean, and no ports at this point are wanting to take them in, so they're trying to figure out what to do. But anyways, like thousands of people stranded today and wanting off these cruise ships, I found myself desperately wanting off this cruise ship that I was on. Now, for the most part, the cruise was amazing. It was my parents' 40th anniversary, and so I had lots of family there with me. It was a Caribbean cruise. The cruise took off from Miami, Florida, and I remember as the ship was pulling away, feeling like I was on the Titanic or something, and I wanted to wave to all the people on the shore as we pulled away like in the movies, except there was obviously this cruise ship, so there was no people on the shore to wave to. But on the cruise, we had the time of our lives. I mean, there were the parties happening all over the place, singing, dancing, amazing food to eat at every corner. We stopped at all these tropical paradises, Cozumel, the Grand Cayman Islands. It was amazing. But then, towards the end of the trip, day 6, the mood started to change, and a few things contributed to the mood change. One, we were all feeling super bloated from just having eaten so much food. And 2, the mood was changing because it was time to head home. Which on a cruise ship, at least the one that I was on, when it was time to head home, you went from wherever you were at in the ocean and you just beelined it back to your port of call. Which probably wouldn't have been a problem, except on the cruise that I was on, the very last day was the worst weather that we had the whole entire trip. I mean, the skies were dark, wind was howling, it was wave after giant wave after giant wave, and when you've been stuffing your face nonstop for 6 days, that's a problem. And just to give you an understanding of just how bad of a problem it was, on the last day, so Becky and I were sitting near the back of the ship, by the way, not a good place to be on a ship when it's rocking back and forth. You want to be more in the middle. But we were on the back of the ship, and we had a plate of donuts and a plate of chocolate-covered strawberries in front of us, because I was just determined, I'm going to squeeze as much out of this ship as possible out of this cruise. I spent all this money, I'm going to eat. Yes, it was gluttony in full force. I have since repented. But as I was sitting there with all this stuff in front of me, I was feeling so gross that we ended up just staring at it and eventually tossing all these donuts, all these chocolate-covered strawberries in the garbage. Now, if you know me, you know that I don't toss out chocolate-covered anything, and I never toss out a donut. For me, tossing out a donut is like the unpardonable sin. But eventually the boat docked, and it never felt so good to get off that unsettled, unstable ship and put my feet on some solid ground that wasn't moving, ground that instead was steady. This last week, we did this informal poll that a lot of you filled out. But the poll simply asked the question: how is everyone feeling about the pandemic? And of all the responses that we presented, the one that got the most votes by far was people are feeling a little unsettled. It's a little unstable. We don't know where this is going. We're not entirely sure how we should be responding. Do we just not worry and carry on life as usual as much as we can? Do we head to the store, do some panic buying, stockpile rice and beans, which, by the way, good luck with that. Do we hide? Do we prepare for the end of the world? There's just a lot of unknowns, and a lot of it is out of our control. And in some ways, it kind of feels like we're on a beach. I don't know if you've ever seen these tsunami videos, but they're on the beach, and the tide has gone way out, and they're kind of racing. They're like, and we're kind of like in that spot right now. We're like, is there a tsunami coming, or is it just going to be a little wave? Is it really going to be just going to peter out? What's going to happen? And there's this uncertainty in this fear that leaves us unsettled. The ground is shaky. And believe it or not, there's a time in biblical history where God's people were in a very similar place that you and I both find ourselves in right now. They were under quarantine, literally under quarantine in this passage of the Bible that we're going to read. But the people, they'd been given orders to stay in their homes because if they did go outside their homes, great harm would come to them in the form of a plague. This all happened actually when the Israelites were in Egypt. God had raised up this man Moses to deliver them. Only Pharaoh, the Egyptian ruler, he didn't want to let them go. And so God sends all these plagues on the land. He sends plagues of like massive hordes of locusts. He sends frogs. I mean, there's frogs everywhere, darkness, and plague after plague after plague. And Pharaoh still doesn't want to let God's people go. And so the last thing that God does is he sends this deadly plague that will be finally be the thing that causes Pharaoh to relent and to let his people go. And along with the warning of this impending disaster, God gives his people some very specific instructions on how to avoid it, that we're going to actually read, and then we're going to pull some stuff out of here. But the Bible says this: if you have a Bible, or you want to pop over to your Bible app on your phone or device, we're in Exodus 12, verse 21. It says this. It says, "Then Moses summoned all the elders of Israel together and said to them, 'Go at once and select the animals for your families and slaughter the Passover lamb. Take a bunch of hyssop, dip it into the blood in the basin, and put some of the blood on the top and on the sides of the door frame. None of you shall go out of the door of your house until morning.'" So they're quarantined, basically. "And when the Lord goes through the land to strike down the Egyptians, he will see the blood on the tops and on the sides of the door frames, and will pass through the doorway, and he will not permit the destroyer to enter your houses and strike you down." Just before we pull some stuff out of here, I want to just go a quick sidebar. I know for some of you, hearing this and maybe reading it, you find it difficult to understand. Why is God striking down people? Why is God sending all these plagues? Well, the only way to understand what's going on here is by understanding that what God is doing here is he is going to battle. God is going to war on behalf of his people, and not just on behalf of his people. God here is going to battle against injustice, against slavery that's happened here. He's going to battle on behalf of truth, on behalf of what's right. And the Israelites, they've been unjustly oppressed and enslaved for hundreds of years by a powerful, hardened, oppressive, callous nation. They are powerless to do anything about it. And so they begin to cry out to God, and what does God do? He responds, and he comes to their rescue, and he does that in just the most unusual way. He gives them instructions to take something of theirs that they valued, this living lamb, a baby sheep, and he instructs them to sacrifice it, to put its blood on their door frames, and stay in their homes until the morning. That's how he's going to ultimately rescue them here. And to this day, Jewish people actually, they commemorate this as one of the most important days on their calendar. It's called Passover, the day that God passed over, he saw the blood on the doorpost and passed over the people, sparing them from death. And of course, for us that call ourselves Christians, that put our faith and trust in Jesus, we understand how all of this pointed to how Jesus, the Lamb of God, would die on a cross for us. And when we put our faith and trust in him, he passes over us. He forgives our sin. He takes us from death to life. He makes us alive in him. It's good news what he did for us. Well, what I want to talk to you about this morning is how God's people, how in this scene here, how they responded in the midst of being unsettled. Like us, they're confined to their homes. Like us, they weren't entirely certain of what was about to go down. Like us, they knew that even though things had been bad, they knew that it was about to get worse. And like us, the ground around them, it wasn't solid. Their world was changing rapidly. And like us, they would have felt lost in the middle of everything that was going on right now. Never before in their history had they experienced what was happening. But in the middle of this uncertainty and unsettledness, the people of God that we read about here, they do some things. One, they respond in faith and not fear. They're waiting for what God is up to next, rather than waiting for whatever disaster is about to come down. And two, they sacrifice. And three, they worship. The Bible says that after they had done all that God was asking them to do, it says, then the people bowed down and worshiped. The Israelites did just what the Lord commanded Moses and Aaron. Now, this is not a picture as people are bowing down and worship and following God and obeying Him. It's not a picture of people in a panic. No, it's something different. It's a group of people who are calm, who are assured, who are humbly bowing down and worship. They're following God. Their trust is in Him. It's not in their shifting, changing, unstable circumstances, which are about to get even more turbulent. Now, we can either respond like the world does, freak out, panic, live selfishly, or we can respond like followers of Jesus. We can live by faith, resting in Him, worshiping Him, and finding ways to be sacrificial and generous, or we can respond in another way. And if you want to find some solid ground, so you're listening to this, you're going, yeah, I want some solid ground. I'm nervous, I'm unsettled, I'm anxious. If you want to find some solid ground in the middle of the rapidly changing world that we're living in, this is how you do it. One, just like they did here in this passage, you live by faith, looking for that thing that God is up to. And by the way, God is working. God is working. Already through this, we're seeing people connecting with friends and families in ways that they've never connected before. We're seeing hope in places that you wouldn't see hope. We're seeing people step up and serve in ways that are unusual. God is at work in some really cool ways. And question for you, are you waiting for what God is up to next? Are you expecting good things, or are you waiting for disaster? And Jesus, He invites us to leave fear behind and live in faith, which brings with it His peace. Listen to what Jesus says. He says, this is just before He was about to go to the cross and leave this earth. He says, I am leaving you with a gift. This is in John 14:27. I am leaving you with a gift, peace of mind and heart. And the peace I give is a gift the world cannot give. So don't be troubled. Don't be afraid. And when you know who God is, you can have peace. When you understand how strong He is, you can leave fear behind because you know that He's good. You know that He's in control. You know that He has a plan in all of this because that's just the kind of God we serve. He's good. He's faithful. He's strong. And when you run to Him, when you stand firm in who He is, who the Bible says that He is, it makes the ground that much more solid. So the people of Israel are not only living in faith in this passage that we just read, but they are also being sacrificial rather than selfish. And the tendency in these times is to be selfish, isn't it? And I know because I've walked into the grocery stores, and honestly, where this thing really hit home was the first time that I walked in a grocery store, and as I'm walking through the grocery store with Becky, we're just going, okay, what in the world? There's no food here. Like, usually we just go in and there's like, we grab this thing, and it's rare not to find the food that you're after, but there's like whole shelves empty, as you've already seen. And in that moment, it is tempting to go back to the front door, grab like 2 carts and each cart in a hand, and go through the grocery store and just start like shoveling stuff in there so that you and your family are going to have enough food to last for however long this whole thing is going to go. You want to do that, but we know, as you know, we've all been instructed, don't do that because that prevents other people from getting food. But it's tempting to be selfish. I actually saw another kind of selfishness yesterday. 30 plus people were crowded on this basketball court. Some were talking, a lot of them were playing. Nobody had masks, nobody had gloves, but just like out and about doing whatever. Just no concern whatsoever for the virus, no concern whatsoever for how they might have it and be passing along to people who are going to take it home to their families. And during the early church, though, they faced extremely challenging times of great uncertainty. There was nothing solid. If you read the book of Acts in the Bible, nothing solid in there about their circumstances at all. They were changing, shifting all the time. It was persecution. I mean, people were literally dying for their faith. But when we look at this group of people in the Bible, we don't see them
rushing to the mega stores in Jerusalem and just like packing their carts and whatever and hoarding supplies. You don't see them thinking of themselves. Actually, what you see is something entirely different. Listen to how the early church, listen to how they responded to Christ. The Bible says this. It says, they sold property and possessions to give to anybody who had need. This was just an incredible spirit of sacrifice. They looked for needs, they figured out where they could help, and then they just jumped right in and they did it. Like I said, there's been this need at the food bank all week long for help. A need that's not going to go away. And this last week, as the need that's going to come up, I've been making it known. Maybe you've seen the video on Facebook and some of the posts that we put out as a church, but there's this need. I gotta say, it's been so amazing to watch how some of you have just seen the need and stepped in. Yesterday morning, Saturday morning, I got a text at about 6 in the morning from Suzanne Nevin, who's the food bank director, just doing an incredible job down there. And at 6 a.m., she sends me a text saying, hey, I can use about 2 guys to come down and help with freight at 8 a.m. So a pretty small window to rally help. I sent out a text message to about 10 to 12 guys, and within like 30 minutes, 3 of our guys, CTK Ferndale guys, responded saying, hey, I'm in. And listen, that's a different way of responding. It's not this selfish, like, oh, I'm in bed, or oh, I might catch something. It's no, I'm going to sacrifice. I'm going to do whatever it takes to go and serve. That's sacrifice. That's faith. And these times that we're in, you heard me say this last week. I'm going to say it again. Don't have a faith that's hidden, but a faith that's on display. A faith that leads you to sacrifice. Help out where you can. And yes, I understand that there's precautions that we all need to be taking. But don't just think about yourself. Look for ways to give. Ask your elderly neighbors if they need help getting groceries. If you can't get out, then pray. Pray like crazy. Pray that God heals. Pray for all those right now that are just going above and beyond to make life go on. Pray for grocery store workers. Pray for first responders. Pray for our hospital staff, administrators, doctors, nurses. Pray for those that are working in care facilities, assisted living care facilities. Pray. There's so much that you can do. I love what Pastor Craig Rochelle out of Oklahoma calls the church. He says that during this time, people are afraid, they're unsettled, they're anxious, they're looking for hope. And he says this, we, the church, we are hope dealers. We deal out hope. We shine our light. We give love. We bless others. In a world that's being bombarded daily, you can't escape the bombardment that's happening in the news, but it's just bad news. Bad. And we are the people, the church, of the good news. Jesus is alive. He's made a way for us to know Him. We can have life in Him, life to the full. There's so much hope, regardless of how bad this thing gets. There is so much hope in Jesus. And when crisis comes, God's people, first of all, live in faith, not fear. Second, they sacrifice rather than live selfishly. And last, they worship. They declare the greatness of God in the middle of the storm. They declare His goodness when everything seems so bad. They lift up the name of Jesus high. And as we wrap things up this morning, we're going to worship. One of the ways that we do that in a very tangible way is that we do every Sunday morning is we give financially. So we take some of what God has given us and we simply go, okay, God, everything that I have is from you. Everything. And so God, part of what I'm going to do is worship you by giving back to you. Because worship is it's giving to God. And so we say, God, I'm going to give some of that back to you. Faith, obedience. I'm going to give towards the work that you're doing in this world, expanding the kingdom of God, making a difference in my community. And so there's a number of ways that you can give right where you're at. The simplest, easiest way to find out how you can give is to go to give.ctk.church. And that will give you some instructions on how you can give. Give.ctk.church. So we're going to worship God by giving back to Him, but we're also going to worship Him with song. Finish, we're going to like I said earlier, I'm going to post a link to a worship set that I know will encourage you. We're going to sing songs about praising God in the middle of the storm. And so I encourage you to grab hold of that link and let's magnify Jesus together. But before we do that, I want to do a couple things. First, for those of you watching this morning, or maybe you're watching a recorded version of this later on in the week, but you're watching this and you don't know Jesus. You're going, okay, I seem to accidentally stumble on this, but something as I'm watching this is pulling me in. I'm hearing about this Jesus guy. I'm hearing about how he's true. I'm hearing about all that he is and all that he's done for me. And you're going, something inside of me is saying, okay, he's the way, he's the truth. I want to know more about following Jesus. I want to know more about who this Jesus guy is. If that's you, and you want to find out more about following Jesus, simply shoot us a Facebook message, and somebody on our team will reach out to you, and we would love to talk to you a little bit more about who Jesus is and talk to you a little bit more about following Jesus. And the last thing that I want to do before we close this morning is I want to pray, and I would love to pray for us. I'd love to pray for our community and bring all the needs to Jesus. And so if you're watching this right now, I just want to encourage you to pray along with me and just agree together that God is going to do something good in the middle of all of the bad that's happening right now. So let's pray. Heavenly Father, Lord, I thank you so much that you are solid ground. Thank you so much, Jesus, that you are truly a rock. You're a refuge. You're a fortress, a strong tower. God, no matter what we're going through, I thank you so much for that. God, I thank you that you're good. God, I just, this morning, God, I want to declare your goodness. God, you are good. And God, I'm sure that there's questions like, why is all this happening? Why is God not stepping in? And God, those are questions that God, we just won't know this side of eternity. But God, in the midst of everything, God, we still declare that God, you're good, you're faithful, you're true. And that God, even in all this, God, you are working for the good of those who love you. God, you are in this. And so, Father, we declare that you're good, you're faithful, you're true. God, for anybody watching this morning, or later on in the week, God, I pray, Jesus, that Father, they would, God, they're unsettled and afraid. God, I pray, Jesus, that, Lord, you would, as they reach out to you, God, and as they put their hope in their faith and trust in you, God, I pray that you would give them a confidence, God, give them a hope, God, give them this assuredness that can only be found in you, Jesus. And God, for anybody that's watching that doesn't know you, I pray, God, that, Lord, God, this would be the day that in their heart they go, okay, I'm going to put my faith and trust in Jesus. I'm going to follow Jesus with everything that I have. And God, I pray that, Lord, out of this time that we've had together this morning, God, I pray that lives would be changed and transformed. God, not just for the moment, God, that we're in, but God, would you change and transform lives for all of eternity? Praise us, Jesus. And Father, I just also want to take some time, as so many of our church are watching this together right now. God, I want to take advantage of this opportunity, God, to lift up, God, our community. God, for those that are struggling with sickness, God, because of this virus, I pray, God, that, Lord, you would bring healing. God, work in a supernatural way. God, I also pray for those that are just going so far and above right now. God, for those that are working in grocery stores, God, for the clerks, for the cashiers, God, management, God, for those that are first responders, God, for all the hospital staff, God, for those that are working with the vulnerable, God, those that are in assisted living care. God, I pray for all the people that are just giving so much right now. And God, I ask, God, that you would give them strength. God, give them hope. God, they're seeing both good and bad happen in this moment that we're in. I pray, God, that, Lord, they would have just a joy that they don't even know where it comes from. God, but a joy, God, in the middle of this season that can only come from you. Give them a joy, give them a strength, and just give them a knowing, God, that we are in this together, God, that we've got their back. And so, Father, thank you so much for this time that we can have together today. God, I pray your blessing on everybody that's watching. God, may we know you more fuller in this season. God, may our faith increase. God, may our sense of sacrifice increase. And God, may our worship and adoration and love for you, God, may it just exponentially, God, in this season that we're in right now. I pray all this in your name, Jesus. Amen. Awesome. Well, it's been so good being with you today. And you should be seeing a link being posted here. It hasn't already. It should be posted any moment now in the comment section of the Facebook Live stream. And I encourage you, click on that, go to this worship set, and press in. What we're going to do here at the Warner House is we're going to be watching it on TV. We're going to crank up the music. Some might sing, some of us might watch, but we're just going to enjoy some worship together. I just encourage you to do it, to push through the awkwardness and to press into Jesus today. But it's been great being with you, and I hope and pray that you have a great day and a great week. God bless.